Hello and welcome in. My name's Tom, your neighborhood butcher, and today I'm going to teach you how to make my classic stuffed flank roll. This is going to be an amazing journey, and I cannot wait to show you a very classic, beautiful piece of meat, the way to display to your family and friends and really impress. And also, man, give them an eating experience of just a bunch of really nice flavors melded together in this flank roll. All right, you guys, let's go through this thing and check out the flank roll. We're going to go through the whole process of how this thing is made. First, you got to go to the butcher and you need 2 pieces of flank. Now you could do it with one if you only want to make a few pieces. You could take one whole piece, cut it in half, and then stack those on top of each other, and then just make a smaller portion. But I'm trying to make this for like 5 or 6 people, so I want a full, 2 whole flanks. Now you just really need to kind of, after they've been tenderized, and ask for the butcher to tenderize these twice. You really need to kind of stretch out the grains a little bit, get it pliable. Make sure it's going to be, ready to roll, because you're going to try to move and manipulate it. And you want this thing to be stretched out and ready, to be able to get rolled up and done things too. And then you just want to nip a little of the fat off. Sometimes in the flank, it's kind of cool to see the fat kind of rolled up in there, depending if you like fat or not. In my family, unfortunately, they do not like fat. I personally love fat, but this is a Mother's Day stuffed flank roll, and my mother-in-law and my wife do not like fat at all. So let's make sure we impress. All right, we're just going to nip the rest of this fat off, just a little bit here, a little bit there, just to make sure this thing is ready. Uh-oh, look, my wife would have found that in her steak. Shut the show down. The whole thing would have been done. So we needed to make sure and cut all this fat out of here so that there's none in this steak, at least for my wife. You see, there you go. It's cleaned up pretty good. Stretch it back out. Just get these things lined up, so that you could put the cheese and all the different things that we're going to put on it. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I think that's ready for the Swiss cheese. Now, let's do it. Let's get this Swiss cheese and start layering out our cheese. So let's talk about cheese. I've seen this made with provolone. I've seen this made with like I'm doing with the Swiss cheese. If you really wanted to do something a little bit different, you could add like a nice white sharp cheddar. You could use a mozzarella. There's a lot of ways that you could do this recipe cheese-wise. Even if you wanted a little spicier, you could use a jalapeno cheese, or you could also use I'm drawing a blank on the name. Oh, yes. Hello, Lindy. Yeah, she deserves a little bit of a treat. They eat everything that we eat. So, anyway, I'm not too worried about it. I know everybody will say, ew, you didn't wash your hands. I know. I know. You should wash your hands. Let's just finish this off. Add one extra little piece of cheese and we'll just roll that up, or break it up and put right there in the front, and we'll roll that all together. Now we're going to do our baby spinach. Put a nice layer of spinach. The spinach really enhances the flavor of this whole dish. And you should have a good amount of spinach in there. Plus, it's good for you. Yes. I make it look easy with the speeding up the whole video. You could use something different as well from the spinach, maybe a Yeah, I wouldn't suggest like a kale, but maybe a heavier leafed lettuce of sorts. But I like the spinach. The spinach holds together. It has a really unique flavor. Now these are red bell peppers, pickled, and these are really good. They have a nice flavor, and you'll see instantly when you start eating them after it's all cooked and ready to go that these are very tasty and adds a unique flavor. But again, you could use something different. You could warm this up a little bit. You could put some jalapenos in it. You could do like a red pepper, of sorts. You could probably add a lot of different kinds of peppers. Maybe slice a serrano up or something and add a little. So if you want to add a little kick to this thing, there's a lot of different ways you could do it, in my opinion. But today I'm using red bell pepper, and, and that's how I've always made it, for my meat counters. And there you go. That's a very beautiful um, setup right there. Should have a pretty decent even amount. And you see I have a larger panel at the top, and then there's that smaller panel, and it has a little bit of, it's not perfectly shaped. So I'm going to roll it from the bottom and really try to get that center pinwheeled pretty well. And then I'm hoping to be able to use that smaller piece more as a cap. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie that cap down basically with the string. And you'll see kind of what I'm going to do. It takes effort. You got to kind of really squeeze it together. Make sure your thumbs are grabbing that bottom part and you're kind of pulling the meat, from the bottom, as well as tucking it up at the same time. So you really got to kind of and you really want to use a good grip when you're doing this, because and then just squeeze all the vegetables into the meat. Now see, we're going into that second layer, and you see it's kind of falling apart a little bit, but we're just going to roll that over, and then I'm going to tie that all together, and it's going to even that bottom part where that little hole was. It's going to, really secure that so that it's fine. All right, so we're just going to use a cotton twine, a natural fibered twine, something that'll be okay with the cooking or the temperature, and then that won't get any sort of microplastics or anything like that into your meat. A good cotton twine. And now that was and I've taught this before, but that's the butcher's knot. And I'm going to do it one more time at a decent pace. Remember, I'm doing it left-handed, and then I'm going to speed this up a little bit. But there's the butcher's knot. And here we go. We're going to do it one more time. If you need to, slow it down. Two fingers pinch, turn, pull it through, tighten it up right there. You see how I cinched it up a little bit? And then just pull it down. You're just making a slip knot, and one that'll grab, and then you're locking that slip knot down. So there's a lot of different ways you can make that slip knot. This is just how I do it, and I'm doing this left-handed. So, all right, now we're just going to just whoop these things out and speed this up a little bit. This all takes time. Plus, for some reason, I got my string all balled up, and you don't want to watch me detangle that string ball, unfortunately. But you see that I'm just tightening up this thing. We're trying to make about 1.5 to 2 inch flank rolls. And then I have a few bigger ones, in the middle, just to try to, I want a couple of them. I'm feeding 6, and there's 2 dads that eat a little more than most, so we're making a couple bigger ones there in the middle. And we're just going to face off each side of this thing so that everything is nice and even, and nothing goes to waste. I'm going to fry all this up and feed it to the dogs. That waste right there, so don't think that that's going to go to waste. And then here we go, our nice flank rolls. Now this is the one side that had the tear in it, and you'll see they get a little more solid as you go along. But honestly, it doesn't really matter, you guys. It's still a nice presentation. And you see how that cheese really adds that white swirl. And there you go. The stuffed flank roll. Swiss cheese, spinach, and pickled bell peppers. red bell peppers. And there you go. Um, I like to maybe serve with a little bit of Parmesan on the top of it. You could even melt a little Parmesan on top of it after it's all said and done. But you'll see when you cook them in, especially in the Pyrex and cover them, that cheese will kind of bubble up on the top when they're all done, and they will look really, really nice. And there you go, flank rolls. Hey you guys, thanks for spending some time with me. I do totally appreciate you watching these videos and just appreciating the content. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. And there they are. We're going to stick them in the refrigerator. And of course, Lindy approves. And thank you very much. All right now. Bye.